If you guys want one-on-one training, online training, or nutritional coaching, please head on over to my website, jpfitnesspro.com. Just go to the services tab and select which one you would like. You can also subscribe to my newsletter and contact me through my website as well. If you haven't already, please subscribe to my YouTube channel and click the notification bell so you never miss a video. Thanks. What is up, you guys? JB here. First things first, I thought I'd let you guys know that I'm running some Black Friday deals on my online personal training. If you guys are not local to San Marcos, it's up to 60% off, 50 to 60% off, depending on how long you sign up with me. And if you're local to San Marcos, I still have some Black Friday deals for that as well. You guys can reach out to me through my website or through any of my social medias. Also, I told you guys that I was going to tell you one fact about me every single time I do a video until you guys get to know me a little bit better. So my next fact is that I'm a really big rap fan. I really do like rap. I've liked it for many, many years now. My favorite rapper or artist, as you might call him, is Mac Miller. I know he did pass away, so that was a really big a blow to me personally because I really related to him as an artist in general. I've seen him a couple times. I've met him a couple times. So yeah, that really did suck. I really did like the beef that was going on between Tory Lanez and Joyner Lucas. I personally had Tory Lanez winning. I don't know who you guys had winning, but I had Tory Lanez winning that. I know it was kind of a friendly beef, but it kind of was the big talk of like the whole last week because they kept going back and forth. Today's video is going to go over the bar, the deadlift and the bar in relation to you when you're lifting it. You may see a lot of pictures floating around or questions in regards to where the bar is in relation to your body and what the difference is depending on if your shoulder's a little bit in front of the bar or if your shoulder's a little bit behind the bar. I've been asked this before, and I've actually, a long time ago when I used to get asked this, I really didn't know, but understanding biomechanics a little bit better, I learned what happens when you actually drive your shoulder a little bit forward in front of the bar versus having your shoulder straight in front of the bar during the deadlift. To preface that is, you've probably heard that when you're doing a deadlift, you want to keep the bar close to you. So when you're doing a deadlift, you don't want the bar to come way out here. You want to keep it closer to you, which is a really good and common cue. What happens is when the bar gets further away from you, you're increasing the moment arm for whatever joints are working during that lift, which is going to increase the demands on the musculature working those specific joints. So the further and further the bar goes this way, it's going to get harder on the hips, it's going to get harder on the low back, etc., etc. So that's why it's good to keep the bar close to you. But what happens is when you're doing a deadlift, a lot of common times, incorrectly, I'll hear people say that your arms need to be straight above the bar, your shoulders need to be straight above the bar. So you may hear people say when you're setting up for a deadlift, your hands need to be straight up and down, but they don't necessarily tell you why. And this is not 100% true. When you're in this position for the deadlift and you're setting up and your arms are straight up and down, you have the bar. If you were to draw a line this way, a distance from my hips to the bar, there's a certain distance between my hips and the bar, and that's going to be the length of the moment arm. And there's going to be certain demands on my hip, and you can do that with the vertebrae of your spine. You could do that with everything that's involved in the deadlift to determine how much torque is going to be needed to produce to be able to lift the weight. So what happens is you may see pictures saying that like, you don't want to go over the bar, so my shoulders are in front of the bar instead of being directly over the bar. They're in front. But what happens is when your shoulders are in front of the bar, your shoulders are more this way, you're actually creating a moment in regards, a moment at the shoulder in regards to shoulder extension, which is going to be a primary function of the lats. So when you're in front of the bar like this, with your shoulders, if you're in front of the bar slightly, it's going to function like as if you were doing a straight arm pull down on a lat machine, because you have to actually forcefully, you need to try to extend your arm or keep your arms extended to prevent the bar going away from you, or to actually keep your shoulders in front of the bar. Because think about it, if I were to lift the load with my shoulders above the bar and it's not, and my shoulders aren't directly over the bar, it's going to be kind of like a straight arm, like almost like a static straight arm pull down. So again, you're getting a moment at the shoulder,
that's specifically for shoulder extensions. So what does that do? When your shoulders go forward, if you were to watch me again, so when shoulders directly over the bar, shoulders forward, you're one, increasing the demands on the lats for you to keep a static shoulder extension, but that's also going to decrease the length of the moment arm at the hips, because if my shoulders go forward, my hips go forward, and that's going to require less effort from the hips to be able to extend. So it's gonna decrease the involvement of the hips just a little bit, but that's also going to decrease the demands needed at everything behind the bar as well, including the vertebrae of your spine. And the closer you are to the bar, the greater a percentage that it's going to kind of remove of those vertebrae in relation to the lift. Think about it. When I shift my hips forward, my hips moment arm demand may go from this to this, which is a small increase in percentage of how much it's actually decreasing. It's still decreasing the demands at the hip joint, but it's just a little bit. But if you think of the vertebrae that are getting closer and closer to the bar, like my thoracic vertebrae, it's actually decreasing the moment arm from this to this. So if I go from here, if you look at my upper back, it's going to be from here to here. So my thoracic vertebrae are going from here to here, which is a lot bigger of a decrease percentage-wise for the requirement of those vertebrae. So essentially what happens is it's not a right or wrong. It's just going to do a couple things when your shoulders go a little bit this way and you lean a little bit forward. One, it's going to increase the involvement of the lats in the lift. So it's going to make it harder for the lats because you actively have to extend at the shoulder, which you should be doing anyways, but it's going to decrease the demands to be able to do that a lot higher. Two, it's going to shorten the moment arm for all vertebrae behind the bar. And it's going to shorten the moment arm, obviously, for the muscle groups at the hip and the hip joint itself. So it's going to be easier on your hips. It's going to be easier on your spinal vertebrae, and it's going to be harder on your lats. But it's not wrong for your shoulders to be a little bit ahead of the bar. It's just going to cause differences, and it's going to make certain things harder and certain things easier. If you guys have any questions, comments, you want me to go a little bit more in depth on the explanation of this, I'm not trying to make this a super long video, but I don't mind answering your guys' questions in the comments. Please post that down below. I'll see you guys in my next video. Peace.